Once you have Lightroom Classic installed and open on your machine, we're going to take a look at some of the basic interface. I've got other videos I'm going to show you on how to go through and do some basic importing and other tutorials. But for now, I want to make sure that we're able to save your catalog in the correct location. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here under File right at the top, and we're going to do New Catalog. And then I'm going to save this as your last name, first initial, catalog, underscore. So last name, first initial, underscore catalog. And we're going to change this location. Click on this little bracket that points down, and we're going to go to your Creative Cloud folder. So just like we've done in all of the other things we've put into your photography folder, we're going to open up your photography class. So Creative Cloud Files, Photography, and then we're going to go ahead and create a catalog right inside of here. So we're going to do Create. And that'll take just a moment. So it's in the process of loading, so it's just taking a moment for it to set up. Okay, so right now we have no photos actually loaded in here. What we're going to do is we're going to import some photos. So it doesn't matter where you get the photos from. Right now, I'm going to import some, and I'll show you how to do this individually when we get the cameras set up. I'm going to go ahead and do File and Import Photos and Video. What we're going to do is we're going to pull in the photos that you chose for your About Me poster, just to test this out because I know you all have images in there. So this will take a moment. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Want to access files on my desktop? Sure, I'll click OK. I'll just keep hitting OK. Now this is finding the camera data card that SIM card that I have inside of my camera. What I want to do is I want to actually change where I'm copying from. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on these little arrows right here, these little bracket, up and down triangle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose Other Source. This will become second nature as we go along, but for now, this is why it's so important to have things saved inside of the Creative Cloud file and getting the same process. So this will become easier. I'm going to go ahead and open up my photography class. I'm going to open up my About Me, and I'm going to click on Choose. What this will do is it'll pull in all of the photos that I used for the About Me file. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come up here to the top. I don't want to do just Add. What I want to do is I want to do Copy. And what I want to do here is I'm going to choose All Photos. And now it's asking me where, over on this side. So this part gets a little more complicated, trying to figure out where do you want to save this to. What I want to do is I want to create a new folder inside of your Creative Cloud file. So let's go down here into the Finder. Let's go ahead and go into Creative Cloud Files. Let's go into your photography class. So mine looks a little bit different than yours. Let me set this up. There we go. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to save these into my catalog file. So what I'm going to do, actually I'm going to, right outside of here, I'm just going to do New Folder. And I'm going to call this Photos in Lightroom. I'm going to be saving all the photos that we download. We'll be putting them into this Photos in Lightroom. The thing that's nice with Lightroom is once they're inside of here, you don't have to worry about managing the folders. They will automatically generate a folder with the date on there, and you won't ever have to necessarily go inside of there because you'll have access to everything here. This is kind of like a nice catalog, a nice directory of all the pictures that you have inside of your computer. All right, so once it's here, what we need to do is we need to change where this is going to be saved. So over here, I'm going to go to my Creative Cloud files. I'm going to go to my photography class, and I'm going to choose Photos in Lightroom. And now I'm going to click import. For future ones, I'll show you how much faster it is. We're going to load it up. We're just going to point right to that folder, and it should show up. All right, excellent. So I'm going to take you through some tutorials later that will walk you through how these different modules are set up. So you can look at doing develop and you can do edits. It'll actually bring up some basic information. So read these. These are really cool because they will kind of start to teach you what these different sections are. Making adjustments. Non-destructive. This lets you go back. Different things with snapshots. These presets, think of these as like filters that you would find on like Instagram. So I can go through, and if I wanted to make adjustments to this, I can start to play around with using these sliders to make simple adjustments. Lighten and darken, pull in some details, and we'll play around with what these settings and these things do. One keyboard shortcut to get used to is press G for grid, D for develop. Grid is going to let you cycle through all of your images. D is going to let you edit your images. And you can use your arrow keys to cycle around through them, and they'll be listed here. Later on, we'll talk about how to add keywords to these so it'll be easier to find your pictures, so it won't just be one long, huge list of photos, but we'll set that up in a future video. The thing that's nice with this is Lightroom will automatically save your edits, so when you are done, you can just choose Quit Lightroom Classic. We'll say yes. And then the next time you open Lightroom, which I'm going to do right now, it will bring up the gallery of all of the photos that you have saved in the Lightroom catalog. Think of the catalog as almost a photo album, and that folder that we just created, the one that called Photos for Lightroom, those are the individual pictures inside of that physical photo album. Again, G will take you to grid, D will take you to develop, and we'll talk in detail about what all this other stuff does down here and how to set up some keywords, as well as adding in some other, being able to export out photos, getting them out of your catalog once you've made edits.